Before we begin, we'll make a few simple changes to the macOS desktop to make things easier to do the other things later on. These are general purpose changes which can be useful for a number of actions later on. First of all, we want to be able to access the areas that the applications store their data, and in particular we want to know where templates are stored. So to be able to access those locations, we first of all open Finder, and then this left-hand area is called the sidebar. So we go to Finder and Preferences, and this area shows which things show in the top section of the sidebar. Let's just move the sidebar over there so we can see it clearly. Now you'll notice there's no ticks in Movies, Music, Pictures, and Username. So first of all, let's put ticks into these three: Movies, Music, and Pictures, and you see that these three have now appeared in the sidebar here, and clicking on these would take us to the folders that contains that kind of information. There isn't anything there at the moment, of course. Now the next one is that we want in particular is the username. Now this I've logged in as a special account actually called username. In general, this will be your name, i.e. the name with which you logged into your Macintosh. If we click this, we'll see that it appears on the left-hand side in this column here. And this would be normally your own name or the owner of the computer. Right, if we actually click on that now, we see the files that are stored, the places where documents are stored. In fact, many of these, as you see, music and pictures, are already in this list here. So it's possible to reach these folders through the username or through the clicking in the left-hand column here. Now, the one that is missing that we particularly want is the place where the applications store their data, and that is actually called Library. Now, that isn't in the list here, so we can't do that. But starting with this on screen, where we have clicked in the left in the user's name in the left column, we can then go to the View option and the Show View options, and there's a tick box there for Show Library Folder, and you'll see that when I click that, the library appeared over here. Now there's one extra other useful feature here, especially for those who come from Microsoft Windows on either kind of PC, is if we do View, we can show the path bar here, and that shows us exactly the route that we've reached to get to this folder, which is the username folder. So it came from the MacBook hard disk to the users folder to the individual user subname. If we jump up one by clicking this, we see the folders belonging to the various users of this particular computer. Right, so we've now reached the library. We're now able to open the library and do various things to it, which we won't do for the moment. We'll do that as part of the opening of the thing. So that's the enhancements to the file navigation system. Close those. Right, now one of the things you might want to do is to change the method of performing a secondary click. On a Windows computer, this is the right button click, with the left button click being the primary click function. On the Macintosh, which normally came with a one-button mouse in the old days, it's done with different kinds of clicks on the trackpad. But there are a number of options. So if we open the system preferences and go to trackpad using left clicks, the normal default here is to click with 2 fingers. And you can see the image of 2 fingers here. 1 finger for a single click and 2 fingers for a right click. I always prefer to have them in the 2 different areas on the trackpad, so I changed this to be click in the bottom right hand corner, and the primary click is the click in the left hand corner, or click in the middle of the screen, as the button is showing here. So if I now close that, I used, and if I do a right click, which is the bottom right hand corner, you can see that I get a menu. A left click has no action on the desktop itself, but if I click the menu, I can see the various different options up here. The other feature on the desktop is this row of items at the bottom, which is called the dock. Now there's a very nice animation of the dock, which we can access by moving to this area just to the right of this little vertical bar and do a right button click or a secondary click, and then select dock preferences. Now here we can have the animation, which is done by clicking this magnification here. You may want to reduce the size of the taskbar itself, and we get larger things here. So having done that, you can see that when we move down here and move along, the current area expands and we get a nice effect there, making the dock somewhat smaller, as we've done here. Enables us to have more items on the dock on screen. I'll make that a little bit larger, in fact. Okay, we're finished with that for the moment. Now the next thing you might want to do, as a writer, you'll want ready access to Microsoft Word. To do that, we can add it to the taskbar, and the logical place is here next to this writing icon here. To do that, we open the Launchpad and flick through the screens until we find Microsoft Word, which is here. Click down on Word, and then without letting go, drag it across here onto the dock. Bring it right down into the dock and let go. Word is now on the dock, and we can close the launcher by a single click, left click anywhere on the screen, or we can press the escape key. Right, that concludes the initial setup. This will now open Microsoft Word, and we're going on to move on to the next video. Okay, that's the end of this particular brief video.